Hello everybody. So I've got another video here, and I apologize, I've been wanting to get this out for the last few days, but for whatever reason just keep getting pulled away and haven't been able to get it done. But today is really the similar video what I did last week about some initial thoughts and impressions on some different pens that I've seen that have fairly recently been released. And I've got a few here that I wanted to kind of discuss. Now some of you may have already ordered these pens or may already have them in hand, so definitely comment down below on your thoughts and impressions of them, and if you've already been using them, kind of let us know what you think about them already. So before I jump into really talking about the ones that I've seen online and everything, I did want to show real quick, I got a couple of things in the mail over the last couple days. The first of which that I'm very excited for is the Wingsung 626 that you see here. Now, this is one of those new colors that they've released. This is that brown finish. I was really excited. I literally, the minute I received it, I think I received it probably 3 or 4 days ago. I inked it up the same day. Now, this one has the gold dot, as you can tell, and really attractive pen. Of course, I will do an actual review on it, and I'll compare it to my original 626 that I received and kind of talk about some pros and cons with both pens. But be looking for that review. Now, in addition to that, I have not inked it up yet, but I did get this one. Now, this is the Moonman M300, and Moonman has been dropping pens left and right recently. Now, I was thinking that this pen was going to be very similar to the M200, and in some ways it is. I thought the main difference would be the cap band, but when you put the two of them together, and I don't know if you can really see it right now, but there is a big difference in size. One of the noticeable things, and I'll even grab one real quick. So when you hold the M100 in hand, and then you hold the 200, there's a difference in weight and everything, which I kind of like. I like I like a little bit heavier pens. I don't mind light pens, but I like heavier pens sometimes. It just feels different in the hand. And then the M300, same thing. It's about the same in length, but it's girthier, and it just feels a little more substantial. It's a nice pen. So be looking for a review on that as well. That will be upcoming. And then I got these in, I think, what did I say, Monday as I'm recording this? Saturday. I got these in Saturday. So a couple of those Pen BBS pen rests. This one was the Galaxy colorway. I don't have a pen with this type of material, so I'm excited to use that one. And then I also got the Symphony colorway, and I really like this one. It has some translucent properties to it. I think it's really attractive. Definitely pick some of these up. They're not real expensive, like $3. If you get like more than one, you can combine your shipping if you get it through Etsy. And the colors are selling out fast. Like when I checked a few days ago, a lot of the colors that I originally looked at are gone, and I'm kind of regretting not buying a few more of them because I really only have like a couple pen rests, and it's really nice to have more than that. So definitely look at those. Now, but let's jump into the actual meat of this video and kind of talk about some of the pens that I've seen recently released. So the first one that I want to talk about is another Moonman. I actually have a few Moonmans on here. As I stated, they've been releasing pens left and right recently, and different acrylic materials, which I think is really nice, and some subtle differences in the overall pen designs as well. So the first one is actually the Moonman S3. Now, some of you have probably already seen this. I think it's been out now for maybe a couple weeks. Now, I'm going to pop up a picture. This is the kind of teal colorway. You'll notice it has some hints of kind of pinkish red, as well as some, looks like some white, black, purple. It's got a lot of different colors in there. I think it's an attractive pen. Not per se my color. Now, I'm a big fan of the Moonman S1. We'll talk a little bit briefly about the S2 here in a moment. But this one is definitely, it's a little bit different in design from the S1 to the S3. I think it kind of gives you a little bit more of that premium vibe when you just look at this initial picture. At least that's kind of the way I kind of get that impression. Now, there is a jump a little bit in pricing, which kind of stinks a little bit. But so I really like the price for the S1 initially. That one was around $17 or $15 to like $18. This one spikes up to about $20 to $25. Bear in mind, it just released, and a lot of times those prices will sometimes go down. So there's still that potential that that could happen. Now here we see a close-up of the nib. And I'm really excited that it has the Moonman nib on it, where they didn't go with, like, say, a Schmidt nib. I know some people like Schmidt nibs. I'm not a big fan. I've had, for every one that I've had that's been nice, I usually have two that don't write very well. So I really like the Moonman nibs. Most of them that I've used have been consistent writers. Generally, you're only going to get them in like a fine, so you're not going to, you know, get a range like you would, like a medium, for instance, with Pen BBS. But I think that's okay. Pop up another picture here. So here's another acrylic. I really like this one as well. It's got a lot of different colors in it. You obviously see black, white, brown. Looks very nice, I think, and elegant. I like, you know, it's got the different metal facets on it. You know, I'm fine either way if it had it on there, if it didn't have it on there. I like the fact it's a little bit different. They've been going with cigar-shaped pens like crazy. So that's definitely been something that they've been doing quite a bit. Now here we can actually see, and I'll pop another picture up here. This actually is a picture of all three colors that I've seen so far. So we see we've got the teal one that I showed first, that brown one, and then we actually have a green one as well. I like that green one. It kind of looks like that 626 green acrylic that you see. I think it's a nice color. I like, you know, the overall design. I have not ordered one. I don't know for sure if I'm going to order one. I may, but I also may hold off on it. So, but I do think it is an attractive pen. So I definitely thought it was worth mentioning. And again, looks like it's around $20 to $25 on average. I have seen it on Etsy as well as eBay, and I'm sure there's other resources that you can purchase it from as well. Now the next pen I want to talk about briefly is actually the Moonman S2. This is a pen that has been released kind of weirdly. I have only seen it on Chinese-based websites. I have not seen it on eBay or Etsy. Here's the first picture I have popped up. It's in that really attractive koi pattern. You know, it's definitely a different design, which I kind of wish that they would have released it through eBay. Maybe they will. It's just weird that we have the S3 that's released and we don't have this one. Maybe someone can answer that in the comment sections if you know why. But I think it's an attractive pen. I've seen this acrylic material in a lot of other pens. I think Moonman included. I've seen it on a Delight Alpha. They have a color similar to this. And then, of course, Pen BBS. And I think it's an attractive color. Here we'll pop up another picture. And this is actually kind of like a gift set, it looks like. So you get an ink with it. And if I remember correctly, when I was looking on the website that I was on, it actually stated that you get a Pen BBS ink with it. So that's actually supposed to be a Pen BBS ink. So that was kind of different. I'm totally cool with that. I think it would be neat. Again, I haven't ordered this one. Pricing's been kind of weird on this. I think it's roughly around the same price, around that $20 price range from what I've been able to gather anyways. Now the one drawback, and probably the thing that will keep me from purchasing this pen, is this picture right here. So you'll notice in the picture, and I'm kind of zooming in on mine that I have here, it looks like it has a Schmidt nib, which I'm fine with that part. That part doesn't bother me as much. But it has a metal section, and I'm not a huge fan of metal section pens. Every pen that I've purchased that has like that type of metal section, I find myself not using. It just, I think from the oils, at least for my fingers, and it's just not comfortable. The oil builds up, and it's really slippery. You know, if it was like anodized aluminum or something like that, that's a whole nother story. But that type of section, I probably won't use the pen. So that's kind of, I think, the biggest downside to this pen. The overall design, I think, is interesting. Comment down below if you've purchased one. Tell us what you think about it, if you like it. But I did want to share it because it's weird that we saw it. We had the S1, which I think was a great pen for the price that you paid for it. And then we have the S3, but there was an S2, but we didn't see it. So, or at least not for the most part. So kind of different. Now, I want to jump into the Moonman Into now. Now, this is a pen that I've already done reviews. So they've released different colors. And so for instance, we'll pop a couple up on here. And the first one is, I think, a really nice color. This one reminds me of a Conklin All-American color. You'll notice it has some orange, yellowish, brown hues in it. So I think a very nice, attractive pen. I know some people are like the Into, some don't. It's kind of, I would almost call it a hybrid pen, so to speak. It's a little bit like a, well, it's considered a pocket pen, but it's also kind of like a full-size pen. It's kind of that in-between, in my opinion. I still use my Into quite a bit, so I actually genuinely like it. Here's another one, another picture. I think this material is very attractive. You've got kind of a teal color here. You can definitely tell it has some transparent properties. Looks like it would have some nice chatoyancy to the material as well. This is a color that I'm kind of interested in. It's something that I don't really own or have in my collection, and it looks really nice. Obviously, the design of the Into is exactly the same, but they, again, have launched some different colors, which I think is nice. Now, here we can see 5 different colors. So this is looks like the complete lineup. We do have a white one, which kind of has that ice look to it. Definitely can tell it has some transparent properties as well. We have the original 2 colorways, which I own the koi version or the red and white version. They have, I think they actually call it the cow, which is basically a black and white, and then the other 2 new colors. So I think it's nice that they're doing that, similar to like Wingsung and some of the other pen brands that are, you know, kind of just updating their line. It's nice that Moonman's kind of doing the same thing as well. So very attractive acrylic materials. If you're not a big fan of the Into, you know, maybe some of those materials will you'll like. The nib, very similar to most Moonman nibs. It works well. The pen writes well. I think it's overall a pretty nice pen. And the Into, that one does retail for around $20 to $25 as well. It's kind of the common theme that you're going to see here. Now, we've got another Moonman pen. So I know you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, all these Moonman pens. But this is one I think I really like. And this is the Moonman M6. And here we actually see it's got the branding on this image here. Now this is all 4 colors lined up. So it is a wooden pen, and I think it is a very attractive pen. Now I have ordered one of these. I got the Tiger's Eye, and these are retailing again for around the same price, that $20 to $25 range. They're available, I've noticed, on eBay, and I'm pretty sure I've seen them on Etsy as well. So you can get them at either place. You have to forgive me, I drink a little bit of water. But you'll see they've got a green, it looks like a kind of like a dark charcoal look. They have the red one, which I think the red one is actually very attractive. I ordered what they call the Tiger's Eye, which is kind of that base wood. I wanted to try that one out and just see what it's like. If I like the pen, I may order one of the red ones. This section, of course, is not made out of wood. I do like the fact that it looks like this section is going to be nice. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the M600 section. It looks like it's probably going to be that similar type material. Just probably, it looks, at least in the pictures, to be more girthy. Let's pop some more pictures up here for you guys so you can see a couple more of the M6. So again, here's all 4 pins. Now you'll notice that the nib is different, which is something I'm kind of excited for. The breather hole is a different design. It still has Moonman branding. It's a 2-tone nib. I think it looks like a nice, attractive nib. So again, I'm pretty excited for this release. Let's see if I have any more pictures. Here we'll pop up one. The other thing is the packaging. Definitely looks like it's going to be different, and I'll show you guys my packaging when I get it. It looks like a papered / cardboard design with a nice little pin holder there. Moonman's been, you know, you've been getting all of those tags with them and stuff. I think that's kind of interesting. Kind of goes with that whole package and idea of it. And then I think I have one more image here I'll pop up just to kind of show the nibs and the section's a little bit better. You see that red and that green material. I think they look really nice and elegant, very streamlined design. Again, you can't go wrong with the cigar shaped pen. Moonman has just been killing it with the cigar shaped pens. They've got different sizes and shapes and different things. They have some with more metal, some with less metal. So I think they give you an option. If you don't, they give you an option I think that everyone can live with, so to speak. So that's pretty much it for Moonman. I know there's a lot, but I've been pretty excited with some of their releases. And again, if you're not excited about one or the other, I think there's something there just about for everybody. Now, something else I wanted to mention. So Pen BBS, we've got nothing really new, but I have been seeing a lot more of the Pen BBS 456 specifically with the gold trim, which I think is kind of nice. I'll pop a couple pictures I've seen recently. And here is one of them. So here is the Pen BBS 456 with a gold trim on it. Now I've seen the 456 on some different Chinese websites with an actual gold nib, and I've even seen some gold medium nibs, and those are still nibs, of course, not actual gold. But I do think it's different, and I haven't really seen any of them for the most part on eBay. I've seen a couple here and there, but priced very high, probably a little more than I'd be willing to pay. Most of these that are dropping are around $30 to $40. I have seen these in the 308 models as well with gold trim, so I think it's kind of nice. Generally, when you think of Pen BBS, it's typically like a chrome type trim that you're usually going to get. I think it's kind of nice that you have a different option now. So I did want to kind of share that. Pop another picture up here for you on the 456. This is with it actually. So again, you know, the clip, totally gold, band gold. It looks like the part that holds the, that the actual blank cap screws into, that part is gold as well. So all the main metal facets on the outside of the pen are gold. So that would be something kind of nice to mention. Again, those are going around $30 to $40. So really cool there. Now, next, we're going to look at Wing Sung again, and I will pop an image up here for you guys. So here is a Wing Sung 601. So I'm a big fan of the 601 pens. I still, to this day, take my 601 with me to work every single day. I have yet to clean that pen out. I've inked it up. I've lost count now. I've inked it up probably close to 8 or 9 times. I write with it so much at work, and it's never failed me. I'm surprised, I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised I haven't lost it, knock on wood, because with my luck, I'll probably lose it now. But I think it's kind of neat that they've updated some of their colors. So you'll see this one here, it's a nice kind of bluish teal color. I actually really like this color, but in addition to that, you now have them available with a different jewel color, which again, it's not a huge change per se, but it's something different. So this one you see it has a blue jewel. I'll pop some more pictures up here for you guys so you can see that. And here we see a gray one. Again, I like this one. Now you'll notice kind of like that old Parker design. Remember from like the Vacuumatics when they were first released, they had the double jewels. Kind of the same concept, as at least that's what I'm saying. So you'll notice our blind cap back here also has a jewel as well. So again, a little bit different. You know, the most 601s, they have that streamlined design. Of course, I don't have one sitting here in front of me. I have 2 601s. I have a black one, and then I have my clear one that I take to work with me. Now, give you a little bit better picture so you can actually see both pieces. So here, this one, it's another gray, but here you actually see the blue jewel on the actual blind cap. So again, gives you that. I'm a big fan of blue, so of course I'm excited about it. Now some of you may not be as excited as I am, but I definitely am. And then we'll pop one more image up here so you guys can see the cap a little bit better. So there you see the jewel on the top of the cap as well. Packaging looks like it's all the same. Everything else probably the same. I'm not sure, I didn't actually check to see if these are the traditional vacuum fillers or if they have them available on the pump filler as well. So I personally really like the pump filler. I have one that is a vacuum filler that has the actual rubber diaphragm, and then I have one that is the main one that I use that has the pump filler, and I really like that one. It's much easier to use, much more efficient on the filling. So pretty excited. Those are retailing for around $15, $18, so the price hasn't really changed. I think that's an amazing price for a pen that's a consistent writer. I still have not purchased a 601A. I know some of you are like, why have you not done that? Because the nib is very interesting on those. At some point I will. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet and purchased one. Now, very last, I just wanted to bring this pen up. And I wanted to actually see if any of you that are watching this video have you purchased one of these pens and used it, and what has your experience been? So these are not new. I've seen them on eBay and Etsy and other websites now for quite a while, but it is the Picasso fountain pen. I know there's a special name for this. I apologize, I don't have it. I do think the materials are very attractive. Now, it does definitely scream to me LIY, and I think it's kind of interesting. I know, if I remember correctly, Picasso now owns Live in You. Eason G sold the company, if I'm not mistaken, to Picasso Pens. Now, they maybe have a different name. Someone can correct me in the comment section if I'm totally wrong. That's totally fine. But if I remember, if I read Frank Underwater's article correctly, Picasso now owns them. Some of these materials look very similar to what you see on some of your LOIs, specifically that copper material that you'll see there. And in fact, you see the same thing here. So to me, that looks almost identical. Now, I know we see that a lot. Like, we see Moon Man having some same type of acrylics that you see on Pen BBS pens. And we see that on a lot of different ones. So it's not to say that that's not what's happening here. But I think the pens are really attractive. You know, the clip design's a little bit different. There's not a lot of metal on the pens. Here's another picture. I really like the blue one. The purple one, actually, I think is kind of different and attractive. You know, but if anybody's already got one, you know, tell us what you think about it. Here we can see the actual nib. So, and it looks like it actually has Picasso's branding on it. You know, it looks, you know, I don't know if the price is worth it. It looks like you can get it with, so I've seen it available for around $30 and upwards of $40. And it looks like the $40 options are typically with their, what they call their gift packaging, where you actually get a box. The box looks nice, but wouldn't really care. I would just get the pen without it and pay $30. So, you know, this picture here, you know, the clip looks like it's definitely recessed. You can kind of tell, like, there's obviously transparent properties to it. You can also see that looks like they have a cap liner in there. I mean, it looks like a pretty well-made pen. So, you know, if you guys have gotten one, I've become close to getting one, but there's been so many other pens that I was much more interested in. And I think it kind of looks like a lot of other pens that are available. So I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. So I had a lot of stuff I wanted to cover in this video. Really excited about all these Moon Man launches. I'm excited about my 626 pen. Stay tuned for a review on that. I'm very tempted to get another color. I really like that teal color, and I know if I wait, they're going to be gone. It's kind of one of those things, once they release them, it's like they sell out, and then sometimes you don't even see those colors back in. So I need to probably make a decision soon if I'm going to get one of those. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment down below if you already have some of these pens. Tell us what your experiences have been with them so far. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.